I will now call to order the City County Council meeting for Monday, July 10, 2017. We'll begin our meeting with a prayer and pledge of allegiance led by Vice President Adamson.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilors, I'd like to open up this evening's prayer by a high school friend of mine from my hometown, Reverend Keith Washington, who's a longtime social justice advocate here in Indianapolis. Reverend?
Shall we pray? Dear wise and loving Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many abundant blessings. Thank you for your life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for your loving us even so from your boundless and gracious nature. In the scriptures you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I am asking that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their tasks. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Indianapolis. It is in your Son, Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If all councilors would select the green button to indicate your attendance. There are 25 members present this evening. The next item on our agenda is introductions of guests and visitors. Seeing none, we'll proceed to official communications. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. You are hereby notified, ladies and gentlemen, you are hereby notified that regular meetings of the City County Council and Police, Fire, and Solid Waste Collection Special Service District Councils will be held in the City County Building in the Council Chambers on Monday, July 10, 2017 at 7 p.m. The purposes of such meetings being to conduct any and all business that may properly come before regular meetings of the councils. Respectfully, Maggie A. Lewis, President, City County Council. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the laws of the state of Indiana, I caused to be published in the Court and Commercial Record and in the Indianapolis Star on Wednesday, June 7, 2017, a copy of a notice of public hearing on proposal number 135, 2017, said hearing to be held on Monday, June 19th at 5:30 p.m. in room 260 of the City County Building, and proposal number 134, 2017, said hearing to be held on Monday, July 10th at 7 p.m. in the Public Assembly Room of the City County Building. Natrina DeBow, Clerk of the City County Council. Ladies and gentlemen, I have approved with my signature and delivered this day to the Clerk of the City County Council, Natrina DeBow, the following ordinances: Fiscal Ordinance Number 12, General Ordinance Numbers 22 and 23, Special Resolution Numbers 28 through 32. Joseph H. Hogsett, Mayor. Madam President, this concludes the official communication.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have consent?
Consent, sir.
The next item on our agenda is approval of the journals for June 5th, 2017. Do I have consent?
Consent.
We'll now proceed to presentations of petitions, memorials, special resolutions, and council resolutions. Proposal number 152, introduced by Councilors Lewis, Osili, Oliver, Feaster, Evans, McQuillan, Coates, Wessler, Scales, McHenry, Johnson, Clay, and Mowry.
Thank you, Madam President. Would you like to start?
This is a special resolution honoring Ronald L. Reinking for his many years of service as the General Manager of the Indianapolis-Marion County Building Authority, IMCBA.
Right here. Whereas Mr. Rankin has served Indianapolis and Marion County with integrity and diligence through his leadership of the IMCBA. Over his accomplished career spanning 41 years, Ron has brought inestimable value to the culture, to the citizens of Indianapolis through his excellent management of properties crucial to the orderly and safe functioning of the city and county thereof.
Whereas Mr. Rankin began his career by earning his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from Purdue University in 1971 and becoming a registered professional engineer, and whereas within 3 years of employment at the Building Authority, Mr. Rankin was promoted to General Manager. His impact on the efficient running of the city-county building included reducing steam usage by 82%, water usage by 71%, and electric by 22% during his first 4 years. You can move it with me if you'd like.
Whereas because of his excellent reputation for managing the city-county building, the IMCBA expanded and renovated the Marion County Jail and added numerous additional properties to its maintenance portfolio. I'm sure he wants to be involved in what's coming. And whereas by the turn of the century, 21 properties were being managed under Mr. Reinking's leadership, including the Juvenile Justice Center, the Public Safety Training Academy, 2 fleet maintenance garages, the Willard Park 911 call center, 4 IMPD district headquarters, Animal Care and Control, the Arrestee Processing Center, the Eagle Creek Firearms Training Facility, and the Downtown Canal, and
Whereas, in addition to managing the IMCBA, Mr. Ranking is a devoted husband to Debbie, a father to their children, Phil and Jennifer, and a grandfather to Katie, Carolyn, and Kenzie, all whom he adores. And whereas Mr. Ranking's many years of experience, knowledge, and work ethic will make him greatly missed by the IMCBA directors and trustees, staff, and all who have worked with him over his long tenure as general manager of the IMCBA. Now, therefore,
Be it resolved by the City Council, County Council of the City of Indianapolis and of Marion County, Indiana, Section 1, the Indianapolis City County Council proudly honors Ronald L. Reinking for his many years of service as General Manager of the Indianapolis-Marion County Building Authority.
Section 2, the council heartily thanks Mr. Rankin for a dedicated service to the city of Indianapolis and Marion County and wishes him an enjoyable retirement. Section 3, the mayor is invited to join in this resolution by affixing his signature hereto. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption and compliance with IC 363-4-14. This special resolution was sponsored by Councilor Lewis, Ostley, Oliver, Feaster, Evans, McQuillan, Coates, Weisler, Scales, McHenry, Johnson, Clay, and Maury, and hopefully passed by Madam Chair. I so move for its adoption.
The motion's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The motion carries. Back to the speakers.
so it is our honor to ask Mr. Rankin to come forward and to speak with us. Mr. Rankin, thank you.
First of all, my sincerest thanks to President Lewis and all the members of the council for this distinct honor. It's been my privilege to work for the Building Authority and to work with the council for the past 41 years. I also want to thank you for your support of the Building Authority and me personally during that time. I've had many opportunities to work with the council on construction projects, bond issues, and budgets, and I always felt that I had the support of the City County Council, and I always appreciated that. I hope that you will continue to include the Building Authority in your planning for future facilities for the city and the county. And one last thank you for the council, and that's your work on appointing trustees to the Board of Trustees of the Building Authority. This council has a long history of making appointments of persons who have expertise in the areas that the building authority manages in our operation, and that is very helpful to the management of the building authority. Again, I've always enjoyed working with the council, and I appreciate our long history and long relationship. Thank you.
Thank you for your good service.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sure you have one of those.
Really enjoy your retirement, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is proposal number 91, introduced by Councilors McQuillan, Lewis, and all councilors. And at this point, I'm going to turn the gavel over to Vice President Adamson.
If you could please come up and join us if you're here for the Public Safety Awards honorarium. Thanks. Where's Madam President? Madam President, come over here. Thank you, Madam President. City County Council Special Resolution Number 34, 2017, a special resolution honoring the 2017 Fire, Police, and Deputy Sheriff's Community Recognition Awards honorees. We have quite a few people that want to take just a moment, so if you could read just a line and pass it along, I would be appreciative.
Sure. Whereas the Indy Public Safety Foundation, IPSF, is a charitable nonprofit organization that was founded by motivated civic leaders in order to assist Indy's public safety agencies advance their missions, and
Whereas the mission of the Indy Public Safety Foundation is to enhance the safety and quality of life in the greater Indianapolis community. IPSF carries its mission by leveraging individual and business contributions to strategically support outcomes-based, community-driven efforts to address the public safety issues and the first responders who serve our city as part of the Indianapolis Public Safety Agencies, and
And whereas the 2017 Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department award recipients are Sergeant Alan Driver and Michael Leeper, Officers Daniel Henson, Jerry Pullings, Justin Go, Matthew Minnis, Dustin Carmack, Timothy Clark, Brian Silcox, Bill Foudy, Bradley Thomas, and Joshua Taylor, and Detective Ryan Clark. Detective Christopher T. Smith was named Police Officer of the Year, and
whereas the 2017 Indianapolis Fire Department IFD Award recipients are Mark Ianigro, Gerald Brox, Kyle Evans, I hate having to do the names, Andrew Hawes, Ron Trout, Thomas Bessius, Craig Arnold, Dave Berthan, Ronald Gammon, Christopher McGran, Jeff Mazar, Steve Rowland, Earl Thompson, and Leslie Cornetts. Captain Todd Walsh was named Firefighter of the Year, and
whereas the 2017 Marion County Sheriff's Department MCSD Award recipients are Julian Rafi, Eric Taylor, Carmen Walker, Brian Wolf, Kimberly Janke, and Carolee Walters. Sergeant Lassie Davis was named Sheriff's Deputy of the Year, and whereas
And whereas these honorees, through one-on-one or behind-the-scenes contact, go beyond the expectations of their job descriptions, these leaders believe that public safety is a cornerstone of a strong, economic, viable Indianapolis. Now, therefore,
Be it resolved by the City County Council of the City of Indianapolis and Marion County, Indiana. Section 1, the City County Council applauds the Indy Public Safety Foundation for recognizing the men and women who serve as part of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, IMPD, Indianapolis Fire Department, IFD, and the Marion County Sheriff's Department, who provide excellent service to the City of Indianapolis. Section 2, the City County Council congratulates the 2017 Fire Police Deputy Sheriff Award honorees and winners and thank them excuse me, for their service to the city. Section 3, the mayor is invited to join in this resolution by affixing his signature hereto. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption and compliance with IC 36-4-14. This resolution was sponsored by all councilors. Mr. Vice President, I so move.
Second. Proposal number 191 having been moved and seconded, all those in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. I turn it back to the sponsors.
Thank you. Is Carol Lee Walters with us tonight? Okay. And Sergeant Carmen Walker? Okay. Carol Lee, if you step up here with me. There were so many honorees at this event, and also we want to take a moment to thank Citizens. Is Jeff Harris? Jeff, if you step up here. Citizens was very nice to underwrite this tonight, or this year, and we appreciate Citizens' outreach to our public safety officials. Thank you so much. Carolia, we have just a couple of you. We'd like to tell you about every single one of these award winners, but the powers that be have selected two, and here we are. Carolia Walters, who is the Administrative Employee of the Year. Director Carolia Walters oversees 150 civilian personnel assigned to the Marion County Sheriff's 911 Center, which handles the largest call volume in the state of Indiana, and one of the largest in the United States, with just over 1.2 million 911 calls a year. Most recently, her leadership and contributions led to the Marion County Sheriff's 911 Center becoming the first 911 center of its size in the country to implement a text to 911 program and become fully CALIA certified. Director Walters recently celebrated her 40th year with the Marion County Sheriff's 911, with over 25 years as a supervisor, manager, and director. During that time, she has mentored many law enforcement personnel who started their careers as 911 Center dispatchers before moving on to jobs as police officers, deputy sheriffs, federal agents, names including Deputy Jason Baker and Officer Perry Wren. Director Walters is a selfless and beloved supervisor to those who work for her and an incredible asset to the public, with whom she connects to personally when they have questions or concerns about 911. For her incredible ability to make the 911 Center work at its best for the citizens of Marion County and for the law enforcement officials on the street, Director Carolia Walters has earned the distinction of the Sheriff's Administrative Employee of the Year. Congratulations. And that was your moment in the sun, so you get to step back now. And Sergeant Lossie Davis, if you'd step up here too. Thank you. The events that led to Sergeant Lossie Davis's incredible impact on the Marion County Sheriff's Office and community, and the events that led to her nomination and selection as Marion County Sheriff's Officer Deputy of the Year began not in 2016, but in 2011. That year, Sergeant Davis's youngest son was murdered while attending a basketball camp in Tennessee. By 2016, Sergeant Davis had written a book called God's Purpose for My Pain as a testimony of a mother turning her hurt and pain into an opportunity to release and grow. In June of 2015, Sergeant Davis was assigned to the Marion County Sheriff's Office Community Outreach Program, which allowed her to put her passion into action. Since receiving this assignment, Sergeant Davis has spoken to over 1,000 young people about gun safety and gun violence. Over the past year, she has recruited and personally mentored almost 60 Sheriff's Cadets. The Sheriff's Cadet Program is a career development program that allows 14 to 20-year-olds insight into different areas of law enforcement. Sergeant Davis's leadership has turned the cadet program into a safe haven to educate, mold, and bridge the gap between law enforcement officers and young adults. In addition to her work with the Sheriff's Cadet Program, Sergeant Davis forms community partnerships to educate the citizens of Marion County about 911, how to handle emergency situations and updates to 911, like the text to 911 we mentioned a minute ago. She is also a dedicated member of the Marion County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard and Dignitary Protection Unit. As a law enforcement officer who has been the victim of a tragic crime, Sergeant Davis strives to utilize every available pulpit to raise awareness of youth and gun violence. It is for her drive and dedication to protect our community, especially its youth, that Sergeant Lossie Davis has earned the distinction of Deputy of the Year. Congratulations. And again, there were quite a few award winners, and is there anyone else from IMPD, any brass that wants to say anything real quick? Want to say anything? Want to say anything? No? Again, we congratulate all the winners, those that were able to be here tonight and those who were not. We have, of course, our paramedics. We have fire, deputy, IMPD, just all the different aspects of public safety officials, and we appreciate their service to our city. Thank you all very much. Here, you do the pins.
Thank you, Mr. Vice.
Thank you for your service and work.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 131, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osley.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 131 appoints Judith Essex to the Citizens Advisory Committee for Center Township Comprehensive Plan. Ms. Essex stated that she had been a resident of Indianapolis for 5 years and stated that she is involved with the Riley Area Development Corporation, of which she is a board member. She stated she is currently serving as president of the Old South Side Neighborhood Association and that she is retired from the Indiana Senate staff position. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0. Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there questions from councilors? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 24-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 132, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osley.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 132 appoints Ryan Heathco to the Citizens Advisory Committee for Wayne Township Comprehensive Plan. Mr. Heathco stated he's a longtime resident of Marion County and lead minister at Ben Davis Christian Church. Councilor Evans stated he'd been working with Mr. Heathco on development activities on the west side, and he'd been doing a fine job representing the communities and districts, communities and neighborhoods in that district. Councilor Evans moved, seconded by Councilor Miller, to send proposal number 132 to the full council with a due pass recommendation, and the motion carried by a vote of 6-0. Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there questions from councilors? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 24-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 138, refer to Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee. Chairman Robinson.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal 138, 2017, appoints Paula Finch to the Juvenile Detention Center Advisory Board. Ms. Finch stated that because she has 2 small children, she sees the importance of interacting with youth and getting more involved with children at a young age. She stated that her time is valuable and should be used to do something that can help have an impact on other young people. Councilor Scales moved, seconded by Councilor Evans, to send proposal 138 to the full council with a due pass recommendation. The motion carried by a vote of 7-3, with Councilor Clay, Oliver, and Simpson casting the negative votes. Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there questions from councilors? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 24-1. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 171, referred to Public Works Committee. Chairman Adamson.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal 171 approves the mayor's appointment of Daniel J. Parker as the director of the Department of Public Works. Mr. Parker stated that he has been in public service for a long time at the federal and state level and briefly at the local level. He said that as director, he wants to tell the story of the great work that the men and women of DPW do every day, and there will be a lot more communication and advocacy from DPW. Mr. Parker recognized his senior staff and thanked them for a smooth transition. He said that he's looking forward to working with the council to implement Mayor Hogsett and DPW's agenda for the city. He said that he's happy to be back working in city government, and Mr. Parker said that he's been able to go around and meet a lot of the employees and visit the facilities to let them know that he will work to remove any obstacles that prevent them from getting their job done. Councilor Miller stated that he has the utmost confidence in Mr. Parker and looks forward to working with him. Councilor Cordy stated that Mr. Parker will be a good fit as the director of DPW, and she looks forward to working with him. Councilor Oliver stated that he supports this proposal and looks forward to working on a project in his district. Councilor Cordy, McHenry, Miller, and Scales requested to be added as co-sponsors, and Councilor McHenry moved, seconded by Councilor Cordy, to send proposal 171 to the full council with a due pass recommendation, and that motion carried by a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Councilor McQuillan.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have one concern about this nominee. Does Mr. Parker reside in Marion County? Could we get a confirmation on that?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, he does. He lives on the south side of Indianapolis.
All better now. Thank you.
Councilor Miller.
Thank you, Madam President. I can't believe I have to follow that. I want to thank Mayor Hogsett for what I consider to be a fantastic choice. Director Parker, I'll call him Director Parker now because this is going to happen, did a fantastic job as the MDC chair. That is an unbelievably difficult position to be in. You're talking about property right values for our city, and he was fantastic at weighing the petitioners' time against the time of those who may not be happy about something that's happening and maybe are very emotional about it. He always did it with grace and eloquence. And ironically, I think the DPW job is the same thing. We're talking about property rights. Now we're just talking about potholes and paving streets and shoveling snow. So yeah, utmost confidence, really excited to work with him. Thank you, Mayor Hogsett, for this choice.
Additional comments? Seeing none, proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on our agenda is introductions of proposals. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal numbers 173 to 175, I'll refer to the Administration and Finance Committee. Proposal number 173, introduced by Councilor Simpson, approves an additional appropriation of $19,649 in the 2017 budget of the Marion County Auditor Ineligible Deduction Fund to cover the cost of 2 secure MICR check printers and additional expenses related to the Real Estate Division remodeling project. Proposal number 174, introduced by Councilors Simpson and Lewis, appropriates an additional $30,000 in the 2017 budget of the City County Council City Cumulative Capital Fund to fund the completion of the voting system and legislative management upgrade and related expenses. Proposal number 175, introduced by Councilor Simpson, authorizes the issuance of notes in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $20 million for the purpose of providing funds to be applied to pay a portion of the planning and design costs in connection with a proposed community justice campus and appropriating the proceeds thereof. Proposal numbers 176 and 177, both refer to the Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Proposal number 176, introduced by Councilor Osley, confirms the mayor's appointment of Mark K. Sullivan as hearing officer to preside over the administrative adjudication of parking citations and environmental violations. Proposal number 177, introduced by Councilor Osley, amends the Ban the Box ordinance because of a new change to state law. Proposal number 178, introduced by Councilor Gray, referred to the Parks and Recreation Committee, adds a new section to the code regarding standards for off-leash dog parks under the jurisdiction of the Department of Parks and Recreation. Proposal numbers 181 through 184, all referred to the Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee. Proposal numbers 181 through 183, all introduced by Councilor Robinson. Proposal number 181 approves a transfer in the 2017 budget of the Indianapolis Fire Department Fire Cumulative Capital Fund to support fire station repairs, preventative maintenance, and troubleshooting for EMS equipment. Proposal number 182 approves an additional appropriation of $75,000 in the 2017 budget of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department Law Enforcement Equipment and Training Fund to purchase equipment for the Traffic Division and to reimburse for costs associated with the Leadership Academy. Proposal number 183 approves an additional appropriation of $800,000 in the 2017 budget of the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department IMPD Infrastructure Improvement Fund for life safety repairs at the IMPD shooting range and structural improvements at the Training Academy. Proposal number 184, introduced by Councilor Miller, amends Chapter 407, Article 4 of the Code regarding unmanned aircraft vehicles to bring it into compliance with recently adopted federal regulations and state statute. Proposal numbers 185 through 187, all refer to the Public Works Committee. Proposal number 185, introduced by Councilor McHenry, authorizes intersection controls at Beauport Road and Fredonia Road in District 6. Proposal number 186, introduced by Councilor Clay, authorizes intersection controls at Butler Avenue and 25th Street in District 13. Proposal number 187, introduced by Councilor Miller, authorizes angled parking at 525 South Meridian Street in District 16. Proposal number 190, introduced by Councilors Lewis, Clay, Simpson, Gray, Oliver, Jackson, Osley, Robinson, Evans, Mascari, and Scales, referred to the Rules and Public Policy Committee, amends the code to add a new council rule requiring notice of board and commission vacancies and expiring terms. Madam President, this concludes the introduction of proposals.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item on our agenda is special orders priority business. Proposals number 192 through 198 are all rezoning proposals certified for approval by the Metropolitan Development Commission on June 29, 2017. If no councilors wishes to call down any of those proposals for reconsideration, they will pass into law. Does anyone wish to call down any of those proposals? Seeing none, they will pass into law. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 199. It's a rezoning ordinance certified for denial by the Metropolitan Development Commission on June 29, 2017. If no councilors wish to call down that proposal for reconsideration, that denial will stand. Does anyone wish to call down that proposal? Seeing none, the denial will stand. We'll now proceed to special orders, public hearing. Proposal number 134, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osili.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 134 appropriates an additional $250,000 in the 2017 budget of the Department of Metropolitan Development Housing Trust Fund to provide additional services and housing to Marion County's homeless, at-risk population. Emily Mack, Department of Metropolitan Development Director, gave a brief presentation regarding Senate Bill 505, which standardizes recording fees. The new fee structure will bring additional revenue to the Indianapolis Housing Trust Fund. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0, and Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to proposal number 134?
Yes, Larry Bond, please. This is just another example of what happens when you normalize the use of heroin in this city. They need more money to pass out heroin needles and tourniquets to junkies. So, and also Narcan at $4,500 a pop. And then—
Mr. Vaughn, will you please speak to proposal number 134, please,
I'll
and thank
speak
you.
to it. I just want to
Okay.
say that this money will be used to buy syringes and tourniquets for
Thank you, Mr.
now
Vaughn. That's
junkies.
not the proposal that we're speaking to. Additional comments? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to proposal number 134? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for our votes. The proposal carries 24-0. There is no business under special orders, unfinished business. We'll proceed to special orders, final adoption. Proposal number 133, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osili.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 133 amends the code to authorize the county recorder to charge a flat fee of $10 for each document the Marion County Recorder records. Kate Sweeney Bell, Marion County Recorder. Chris Becker, Chief of Staff, gave a brief presentation on the proposal and stated that the passage of Senate Enrolled Act 505 creates predictable recording fees instead of a per-page fee structure, and it is critical that the Marion County Recorder be able to charge predictable fees, and the Indianapolis Housing Trust Fund allows them to meet the housing needs of the city's most vulnerable residents. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0. Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for our votes. Mr. Chairman. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on the agenda is proposal number 135, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osili.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 135 approves of declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the Metropolitan Development Commission, creating the Ardmore Economic Development Area. Deputy Mayor Angela Smith Jones gave a brief presentation regarding proposals number 135, 130, and 136, and following are key points. The Ardmore project, the GP Dalen LLC will develop a mixed-use property at the southwest corner of the intersections of New York and Delaware streets. The project will include a 5-story mixed-use apartment building with approximately 126 units, 19,550 square feet of urban streetfront retail, a combination of 305 public and private parking spaces and public art. The project will use at least will have approximately $40,000 in investment. Approximately 38 apartment units will be available for workforce housing, representing 30% of the total units. A single site TIF site tax increment financing area within the Ardmore redevelopment area is being created to limit the TIF being made available from only the Ardmore project site location. On May 3rd, 2017, the MDC adopted Resolution number 2017-E-015, establishing the Ardmore Economic Development Area and allocation area at the project site. The plan for the TIF area contemplates development of the Ardmore project and public parking connected. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0. And Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there questions? Councilor Adamson.
Thank you, Madam President. And just for the record, this is a developer-backed TIF project.
Correct.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Seeing none, proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 136, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osili.
Thank you. Madam President, if I may just make a brief statement. Very grateful, I think, for the work that was done by staff, by Deputy Mayor Smith-Jones, and actually by the developer. The notion of providing affordable housing going forward in projects that the city is becoming making available, providing incentives, I think is a great precedent and something that we must continue to do as we move forward. So, thank you.
Great point.
Proposal number 136 authorizes the issuance of economic development tax increment revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $7.2 million to GP Dalen LLC for the acquisition, design, construction, renovation, installation, improvement, and equipping of a 126-unit mixed-use apartment building, including urban streetfront retail, a multi-story parking garage, and streetscape and landscape projects located at the southwest corner of the intersection of New York and Delaware Streets in the Ardmore Economic Allocation Area. Deputy Mayor Angela Smith-Jones stated that this is a $40 million investment in the city, and this will be a successful TIF that will be able to support itself. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0, and Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there questions from councilors? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the board for your vote. Mr. ML. Mr. ML. Councilor McHenry. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 137, refer to Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Chairman Osili.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal 137 authorizes the issuance of economic development tax increment revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $8,020,000 to Indy Canal Lodging Associates LLC and Sun Development and Management Corporation for the financing, acquisition, construction, renovation, installation, and equipping of a parking facility, adjacent hotels and retail space, and preservation of the historic Bethel AME Church located at 414 West Vermont Street in the Northwest redevelopment area. Jeff Bennett, Deputy Mayor, Community Development, stated this is a project that has been on the plate for over a year, and that there are only 3 remaining historically significant landmark structures on the west side of the canal, especially those with a link to the African American history, and that the possibility of losing this historical landmark was concerning. And he believes that its complete preservation and restoration warrants the public finance component of the project in front of us today. Proposal number 137 approves the issuance of bonds in the maximum amount of $8,020,000 to support financing related to the preservation of the historic Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church. The proposal passed, carried by a vote of 6-0, and Madam President, I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors?
Madam President, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a very significant project, and in the preservation, the entire preservation of the building of Bethel AME is significant. There are really 3 significant African-American landmarks in our downtown area: Lockfield Gardens, Madam Walker Theater, and Bethel AME. And the preservation of this and the adaptive reuse of this and the incorporation into a new structure and a new facility is brilliant. And I fully and wholeheartedly support it. Thank you.
We'll now proceed to the board for our vote. Sorry. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 139, refer to Public Works Committee. Vice President Adamson.
Thank you, Madam President. Proposal number 139 approves the purchase of certain real estate by the Department of Public Works for the construction of the Indianapolis River Park East Addition Stormwater Improvements Project, which property is owned by Colonial Hills Baptist Church, Inc. Councilor Gray moves, seconded by Councilor Oliver, to send proposal 139 to the full council with a due pass recommendation, and that motion carried by a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Seeing none, proceed to the board for our vote. The proposal carries 25-0. The next item on our agenda is proposal number 140, refer to Public Works Committee. Vice President Adamson.
Thank you, Madam President. With consent, I'd like to take proposals 140 to 151 together. Thank you. Proposal number 140 authorizes intersection controls at Beecher Street and Orleans Street in District 21. Proposal number 141 authorizes parking restrictions on Kellum Drive from Mills Road to Ritaran Drive in District 20. Proposal 142 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Arden Drive and Arden North Drive in District 2. Proposal number 143 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Delaware Street and 32nd Street in District 9. Proposal 144 authorizes parking restrictions along the inner curbs of Monument Circle in District 11. Proposal number 145 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Brandenburg Boulevard and States Bend Drive in District 18. Proposal number 146 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Grove Avenue and Lexington Avenue in District 16. Proposal number 147 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Stevens Street and Gear Street in District 16. Proposal number 148 authorizes intersection controls throughout the Holiday Subdivision in District 1. Proposal number 149 authorizes parking restrictions on Cornell Avenue in District 2. Proposal number 150 authorizes intersection controls at the intersection of Allison Avenue and 36th Street in District 10. And proposal number 151 authorizes parking restrictions on Park Avenue near 42nd Street in District 7. All of these proposals passed the committee with a vote of 9-0, and I so move.
The motion has been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Madam Clerk, is the board open? We'll now proceed to the board for our votes. The proposals carry 25-0. There is no business under Special Service District Council. The next item on our agenda is new business. Seeing none, we'll proceed to announcements and adjournments. The docket agenda of this meeting of the council having been completed, the chair will now entertain motions for adjournment.
Madam President.
The chair recognizes Councilor McQuillan.
Thank you, Madam President. I've been asked to offer the following motion for adjournment. By Councilors McHenry, McQuillan, Miller, and Mascari in memory of Blake Bow. By Councilor McQuillan in memory of Daniel J. Anderson and Julian Dick Richard Garzon Jr. and Beverly Jean Fegans. By Councilor Miller in memory of Marshall Gibson, Don Murphy, and Elaine Cates. By Councilor Kreider in memory of Oliver Franklin Young. By Councilor Cordy in memory of Mark and Keith Higgins and Roy McBride. By Councilor Evans in memory of Karen Ann Cooper Minton. By Councilor Lewis in memory of Tiffany T. Jackson, Velva Dean Dusty Brand, George Nikoloff, Joseph Matthew Aulette, John Jack Michael Ross, Jason L.M. White, Randy Glenn Westerman, and Barbara Ann Gurnell. By Councilors Adamson and Lewis in memory of Deborah L. Taylor. By Councilor Adamson in memory of Phil Denton and Robin Paget. By Councilors Adamson and Osley in memory of Philip Perdue. By Councilors Adamson and Oliver in memory of David Harwell. By Councilor Feaster in memory of Betty Barnes, Harold Sout, Colonel Barton, Larry Darland, Jerry Parham, Wallace Fox, Henry Wolfe, Thomas McHugh, Ricky Newell, Joseph Collins, and Robert Temple. By Councilor Mascari in memory of Patrick Kennedy and Gary Gullins. By Councilor Osley in memory of Audrey Lupton. Madam President, I would like to move the adjournment of this meeting of the Indianapolis City Council in its recognition and respect for the life and contributions of those persons I've here specifically named. I respectfully ask the support of fellow councilors. I further request that the motion be made a part of the permanent record of this body, and that a letter bearing the council seal and the signature of the president be sent to the family of each person advising of this action.
Thank you, Councilor McQuilling. Hearing no objection, the motion is received and the request for so ordered. Hearing no further motions, we are adjourned.